So I got a comment on one of our videos recently, and the person commenting said something about the fact that Jen and I staged some of our jobs that we do here for YouTube. And I responded with them that, you know, I don't have neither the time or the patience to do anything like that. And everything that Jen and I do on this property and on our homestead is because we have to do it. I get sometimes people watch our videos or watch other channel videos and might say to themselves, well, damn, that doesn't look like it has to be done, or maybe they made that up just to do a video on. And sure, you know, some of that might go on, but Jen and I are not, we're not smart enough to do that. We left Chicago in 2021, and we came out here to the beautiful state of Maine to start our own off-grid homestead. Jen was a supervisor at Costco, and I was the director of quality for a touchscreen manufacturer. We had no skills, no experience doing this. We left everything and came out here, and everything that you see in our videos is us learning about the lifestyle and doing the jobs that we feel are necessary for us to keep going out here. And that said, today we're going to be working on firewood. I am actually going to get in the truck. A neighbor of ours had a really big maple tree cut down, and so before the snow gets too thick on it, I'm going to go grab some of it. He's offered to give it to us. So we're going to go down, we're going to load up the truck with a load, and then bring it back here. And then I'll see you guys in just a moment, because we've got wood to cut, stack, and move. And another thing, I am really sorry about my voice. I know it's cracking and pitchy and kind of all over the place. You know, I got sick, and the cough that I had was pretty horrible. But now that I'm feeling better, my voice is still wrecked. And I drink a ton of honey and tea, and I can't get it to feel better. I can't get it to operate correctly. It's crazy. Hopefully, you know, it'll start feeling better soon. But right now, it's just scratchy and horrible. Okay, so we just got back. I just backed in over to the wood shop, or to the woodshed. So let's see what we got. All right, so we're all set up. We're ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and start cutting up this pile behind me, get this cut and stacked, and then we'll start working on what we've got in the pickup. It is really cold. The wind is blowing rough. It actually makes this very painful. I don't want to be out here, but this is part of it. You know, we've got to get this wood split, or we've got to get this wood cut up, and we've got to get it stacked. The alternative is just to throw it in a pile out here and let the snow, you know, fall and just freeze it all up, and then do it in the spring. But honestly, I don't have the time to wait till the springtime, because this winter I'm going to be filling this thing up basically all winter. So leaving it out here for next spring doesn't do anything. It doesn't accomplish anything for me. So we're going to go ahead and get it cut, get it stacked, and freeze our ass off in the process. Living this far north and heating with wood comes a huge responsibility to ensure that you have enough wood to get you through winter. And in my experience being here, having next year's wood drying while you're still using this year's wood is essential. We have seen too many neighbors around us run out of wood during the winter time, and we've seen them struggle. That's not a struggle that I'd like to have. The benefit to having the truck back here is that I can jump in it when I get cold. Right now it's 3 degrees outside, but with the wind chill, it's a hell of a lot colder than that. See the flag. My windsock got destroyed. The windsock is terrible. It's all ripped up. I need a new one. But the flag is torn up too. I got to get a new one up there. I have one, I just haven't put it up yet, so we'll have to get that up there. But yeah, 3 degrees. Oh boy. When it's this cold, you really don't want to be outside working, but what can you do? Work doesn't stop just because it's really cold. Just got to keep forging ahead. So let's get back out there and finish this job so we can go inside. Now, if you're wondering why I'm cutting pieces like this, it's because we cook with firewood too. So instead of having to just split some of our good, thick, chunky stuff, we have these, we cut them down, we throw them in the wood stack, and when it come time for us to fill up our wood shed, we have cooked wood already ready to go. The Maine winter can be brutal. Beautiful, but brutal. Doing our best to stay one step ahead makes the world of difference to us up here. Never really knew how much I was going to enjoy cutting firewood until I started cutting it. I remember watching YouTube videos of folks cutting firewood and stacking firewood and talking about the importance of doing that activity well in advance of needing your wood. I remember saying to myself, boy, I wonder if that's going to be something I'm going to enjoy or if I'm going to learn to really hate. Fast forward into our 4th winter, and I could not be happier cutting firewood. If I wasn't cutting firewood, I'd be freezing my butt off. But the fact that it is 3 degrees out, and who knows what it is with the wind chill, but with me working, doing what I'm doing, you don't really feel it that much. So during lunch, the sun came out. Makes it really beautiful out here. But it is terribly cold. So Jen just told me that with the wind chill, it's -10. And I'll tell you what, it feels like -10. But we got to keep going. We've got this pile almost done. So we're going to finish that pile. Then we're going to get into the bed of the truck. You know, these jobs, they just got to get done. I mean, like I said earlier in the video, I could wait, but then all I'm really doing is just putting it off, and I don't want to do that. We've got a lot more firewood to bring in, but I can't bring that firewood in until I get this firewood cut and stacked. So, despite the cold, we just got to keep forging ahead. It's just life here. It's how it works. But it is beautiful. Now when it comes to the dogs and the cold weather, we don't like the dogs being out too long. So we'll let them out for 5 minutes or so, let them run around, do their business, and then right back into the cabin. You know, it's funny, when we first moved out here, I had no idea about stacking wood. I had no idea the difference between softwood and hardwood. I had no idea the difference between wood you heat with and wood you cook with. Nothing. And we came here on the property not knowing any of that. But we learned it. Just like everything else that we've done here. We just picked up on the fly as we were living it. Now sure, are we getting some of it wrong? Of course we are. But for the most part, Jen and I are thriving out here. So, working in these temperatures, I find myself, I get exhausted. Like physically exhausted really quick. So, I gotta take a lot of breaks. I gotta stop quite a few times just to catch my breath. It's cold, man, it's cold. And you know, some of this wood is wet and it freezes, and it's hard on the chainsaws. It's hard on me, but we just gotta keep going. Gotta keep foraging and cutting. All right, so we got the last of that cut up. Now we just gotta go get it stacked. So after we put this pile away, then we're gonna start addressing that. I don't know if I'm gonna cut it all tonight or what, but I'm gonna go ahead and stack all the stuff that's already cut, and then we'll kind of see how I feel. I'm getting tired. More out. All right, well, let's keep going though. So with it getting late in the day, I still have a lot of wood here that I've got to get through. I think what we're going to end up doing is all of the pieces that have to be cut, I'm just going to store off to the side. We'll cut those another day. And then the rest of this is going to just get stacked in here. I think that's the best way to do it, because I still have one more job to do today before the sun goes down. And that is fill up the woodshed next to the cabin. And I am exhausted. Working out in these temperatures is just, it's brutal on you. And I am definitely feeling brutalized. Okay, so we've got all of the new wood stacked. I do have a small pile here that I'll have to cut later. So I'm really happy with the amount of wood that we got. We filled up the second tier, and we have started our third tier, which is great. Just for reference, on an average winter, each tier will give us about 4 weeks worth of wood, both for our cook wood and then also the wood that we heat with. So I'm really happy with what we've got going here. Now this is the wood that we're going to be burning next winter. So, you know, getting it up, getting it drying as early as possible is just such a benefit to us. So unfortunately, the sun is going down and I'm still not done. We are out of wood in the shed next to the cabin. So I've got to put my tools away and put the truck away, go grab Dory. We're going to grab a couple loads of firewood and shuffle it on over to the cabin. So, given what time it is, the sun's setting, temperatures are dropping even further than they were today. I'm exhausted, I'm cold, but we got a lot done today, and I'm really happy with the amount of wood that we've got put up now. For now, we're going to go get one load for Dory, fill up the wood in the cabins and call it a night. Get some coffee and some warm food and kick back and enjoy the rest of the night. So, but before I can do all that, I gotta go get one load of firewood. So let's go do that. All right, so this is this year's wood. This was where we were just at, filling this up. We've got that second tier done. We started the third tier over here. So I'm just gonna grab some firewood from here. We're gonna load it up in dory and head over to the cabin. You know, it's really nice to have this firewood dried and ready to go. As I said earlier in the video, we've seen what happens when you're not prepared, and it's not always pretty. Now that's not to say you can't go through a winter without firewood and then just cut firewood as you go. Because I've seen more than enough YouTube channels and TV shows that show just that. You get behind on your chores during the summertime and you simply run out of time and you can't get your firewood in time for the winter. And that's one reason why Jen and I, when we first got here, we bought 9 cord of wood. We tried to cut it and split it in a weekend. There's a really funny video on that, and I'll leave that in the description below. But we were not successful at that. As a matter of fact, I was digging that wood out of the snow that whole winter, trying to cut wood for us. Oh man, that sucked. So having this wood available, having it cut, split, stacked, and dry, man, it just makes all the difference in the world. Look at that. Looks like we had a little nest during the summertime. Now tomorrow we'll come out and we'll finish up what we started today, and that is to fill the woodshed next to the cabin. All right, well, I think that's enough wood for tonight. You know, I can't stress it enough. You know, living out here is beautiful. It is awesome. But, you know, your responsibilities and your chores, like getting firewood, have to be numero uno. Has to be number one. You know, we can't survive out here without the wood. And having this wood is just, it's so essential to surviving out here. Well, I'm going to take this over to the cabin. We're going to fill up the rack that we have in the kitchen and in the den, and then we're going to call it a day. I want to say thank you so much for you folks sticking around, watching this video, hanging out with me today as I deal with firewood. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you folks on the next video.